Hello, and a warm welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we take a look at some of Joey Diaz's best moments on the Joe Rogan Experience. So be sure to tune in till the very end. And also, don't forget to show this video some love by hitting the like and share button, as well as subscribing to this channel. With that, I welcome you all, and let's get right into the video. Number 1. Joey Diaz's best moments on the Joe Rogan Experience, Part 12. Diaz begins by hilariously describing a show he had watched on television where a certain news anchor was reporting while walking backward. Without knowing it, he gets closer and closer to an alligator who jumped on him. The way Diaz explains, it'll just crack you up.
Yes, all the children are here, and all you just gotta go, stop it.
As always, there's never a dull moment with Joey. He proceeds to explain how his mom would deep fry cat and calf brains, and from the look of things, he seemed to enjoy them thoroughly. Can you believe it? That's not even the most surprising part. The guest is in awe that people would enjoy cat brains, especially Rogan. He thought he was a cat guy. Go figure.
Lamb brains, calf brains, calf.
What the fuck are we talking about? Delicious.
Diaz then describes a new edible he had come by, which he refers to as Moon.
There's a thing called Moon, okay? It's a chocolate bar. It's $10 fucking.
Who would have thought? $10 for just one chocolate bar? It had better work wonders. Well, maybe it does from how Joey keeps going on about it.
I've eaten them twice. Both times the next day I could not go to jiu-jitsu. I didn't do much.
So who would have guessed that there are such immense benefits that come from taking long showers? Diaz starts by telling us how he goes in the shower for like an hour, and while in there, he writes and even practices his jokes, wondering what his inspiration would be in there. Maybe the water? In another moment, Diaz goes on to explain how one time, a judge who was about to sentence him asked if he had anything to say for himself. Knowing Diaz, of course, he had even written it all down. Unfortunately, when the time came, he couldn't even get a word out.
I started squeaking. He's like, don't worry about it. Guilty.
Also, according to Diaz, the most experienced soldiers are kept away in Colorado.
Because the mountains to keep them away from civilization for these people. Just in case they hear Chinese music somewhere on the street. They don't ever want.
In another moment of nothing but pure comedy, Diaz narrates how his mom, who had a bar, would always take a glass of wine each night before going to bed. He would always watch longingly. So one night, when she hit the sack,
and I took that bottle of wine, I fucking drank the whole thing.
Of course, he went MIA, only for his mother to find him in the closet, having puked his guts out. Well, it's good to know that his craziness started a long time ago. Joey Diaz. Best moments on the Joe Rogan Experience, Part 13, 1. Joe Rogan starts the show by introducing the one and only Joey Diaz, and quickly proceeds to add that they were delayed in starting the show because they didn't have a lighter, and how embarrassing it was. Let's guess who the lighter's for. Diaz, of course. Who else could it be? Diaz then proceeds to paint a picture of what exactly happens behind bars, where most prisoners play handball, which they later use as a cover when they get out, by claiming disability, while in real life, these ex-convicts are out here selling guns that kill. That's quite the game plan, if I do say so myself. Out of curiosity, the other guest asks Joey if
You play handball in prison, that you said?
I played handball like the first 2 weeks, and it just wasn't for me.
It looks like Diaz owed a lot of money when he was starting in comedy. Joey explains in detail how he would go to the comedy club, and later the manager would call him to say that he had missed 3 calls and Joey in his mind.
In my mind, I would go, it's HBO, oh shit. And I'd pick up the phone, Joey, Discover card, we never got that payment, motherfucker.
Moving on swiftly onto Joey Diaz's shitty stories. I can't wait to hear all about it. So Joey wastes no time in letting us know how he took a shit in his backyard after eating sushi and being unable to access his toilet in time when he got home. This lady, who, from the looks of things, is his neighbor, is convinced that there was a bear in the neighborhood. Well, in her defense, she wouldn't have thought it was Joey. After he's done with his shitty business, Diaz goes into the house, and his wife, who he refers to as very decent, walks up to him to inquire if he had been home all day, since she just had a conversation with the lady next door. Both Rogan and the other guest break out in laughter because we all know the direction this conversation will take, and when we think that Diaz is done, well, we guessed wrong. He continues to explain how he also took a shit in his friend's backyard. The situation got messy when his friend unknowingly ran over it with his car, and his whole backyard smelled like sewage waste. Really, Diaz? Well, I guess it's safe to say that Diaz is full of shit.
He didn't talk to me for a month after that.
Joey Diaz's best moments on the Joe Rogan Experience, Part 17. This guy Joey Diaz is just something else. So he starts by teasing Joe Rogan and asking him if he's ever seen a bookie with a part-time job, to which Joe states that somebody had told him that before. Really now? In another moment of pure comedy, Diaz goes on to tell Joe that he needs to watch the last Rambo movie uncut. He states that when it was released and went to see it because he's a patriarch.
As you know me, I'm a patriarch. It's his fucking best movie ever.
This guy is hilarious, just to say the least. So Diaz isn't done with this Rambo movie. It seems to have a very special place in his heart. He continues to narrate how Rambo's most violent movie and how pissed off he became when he realized that they had cut out some scenes. So Rambo went on and re-released the movie with the parts they had cut out. Rambo had to let them know that even at 72, he was still as good, if not better. Well, who wouldn't? From the look of things, Joey hates taking COVID tests, especially the ones they take from the nose. He explains in detail why one would not want to put a cotton swab in his nose. Joe, as we all know, proceeds casually and asks why we haven't heard enough already, right? And knowing Diaz, he proceeds to give all the gory details in full.
Got angel dust, coke, THC crystal, animal tranquilizers, asshole dust, fucking pubic hairs.
Are we even surprised? I bet I'm not. Joey Diaz, in another fun moment, talks about his uncle, who's 82 years old and has a liquor license and has been torturing him lately because he goes out every Friday and Saturday to a bar which has been closed.
When he was married, he had a mistress, and then he got the mistress's cousin knocked up. Oh, he's a beauty. He's a beauty. I love my uncle.
I can't get enough of this guy.
I ate 2 deluxe spicy chicken sandwiches. I'm not going to be hungry.
You are fucking disgusting.
Especially when he proceeds to tell Joe how CBS approached him thinking that he would be great for a certain role, but he goes on to be the worst actor they had ever seen, and at the end, they wouldn't even look at him with a straight face. Imagine that.